This is the countdown ahead of race 4. We are here at Team SL Truck Sport 30 with Sascha Lenz. You did a great job because you were showing me after the race that the clutch broke. I mean, could you repair that quickly?
Yeah, the problem was the pedal, it's broken, so we fix it now new. Yeah, the last 2 races was really hard from my side. The problem was downshift, it's possible. You give a little bit throttle in the gear you can change. But then when we go from 7 to 8, you need the clutch. So, and then I have...
Let's have a look. Let's open the door and, yeah. Could you see that?
It's here the bolt. And then I push with my foot on the bolt and push directly the 8 and in. So, and I drive the completely time then in 8 low. The gear change from 7 high to 8 low was easier. So, and then I drive the completely time in 8 low. Yeah, I can drive 160, but my engine said, you know, and I looked at every time the temperature, and then goes the temperature from the engine goes up, and say, fuck off, 2 laps, please, 2 laps, you know, and then I see in the mirror directly Antonio. Yeah, it was a hard race, but on the end, we are happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So really great driving experience for you, though. But right now it's fixed, so it should be much more easier. But on the other hand, reverse grid time is always difficult as well.
Yeah, for sure. We need a good start, and then we will see that we have no crash or damage anything in the first 2 laps. And then we will see after the race what position we have.
So he was on the screw and should not screw it again. So Chas, you and Ebi, he said so. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Christina. And yes, a very, very tough day at the office so far for Sascha Lenz. Apologies for the language there, but as you can imagine, when you're in the cab itself and you're going through all of those trials and tribulations, you know it's going to be a very, very difficult time for a driver of Sascha Lenz's capability, especially with the drivers around him, like, of course, Antonio Albertetti and Adam Lachko in that top 5. It was really, really hard for him to defend at the end. But as you heard, they have a lot of gears to go through in these trucks, and being in the right gear is so, so important to keep the turbocharger in the right level of boost, keep the power there as soon as they stamp their foot on the throttle. And there's a real art form to driving these machines, but we still had a fantastic time of it in the first race of the day. Norbert Kish led from the very front, with Jochen Hahn chasing him down in the early stages. Sascha Lenz slotted into 3rd position, where he would eventually finish the race. René Reiner was having to defend hard from Anthony Janiak in the earlier stages as well. Anthony would eventually get back through, but then the big drama was Jamie Anderson and Shane Breton, the sort of civil war between the 2 British drivers going on. Shane being spun around completely and Jamie getting a 10-second penalty. Antonio Albertetti got past Adam Lachko after forcing a mistake, and then they would very quickly catch Sascha Lenz with that clutch issue. But Norbert Kish would take his 2nd win of the weekend, his 2nd win of the season, and Jochen Hahn would get another podium, and so would Sascha Lenz. Everybody was very, very happy. Fans are loving it out there at the circuit again today, very close to the east coast of Italy here in Misano. And the trucks, as you see them there, are all lined up and ready to go for the 4th race of the weekend, the final race of today. Jochen Hahn right ahead of Andre Kurzim as they queue up ready to get onto the grid. You can see all of our personnel, our wonderful grid girls as well, all filling the grid at the moment, waiting for the trucks to make their way around. Here's our gorgeous Iveco S-Way bio-LNG powered machine with the humongous bio-LNG natural power tanks down the side, as you see there from our cameraman. A great example of this beautiful truck, and kept very, very clean throughout the entire season as well. And this truck does do a lot of the hauling for the logistics side of the championship as well, a side of which is aiming to be part of the entire carbon neutral agreement by 2038. Iveco have been a partner of the championship for a very, very long time, and we look forward to continuing to welcome them at future rounds wherever we may be around Europe. The next round of the championship is planned to be at the Hungaroring, the location where we actually started last year's championship. After a lot of shuffling around and after the moving of the Italian round here at Misano to the end of the championship, we ended up starting the entire campaign there. We'll be there from the 11th to the 12th of July, of course, 2022. But I'm really excited to be there in person for the races at the Hungaroring. It should be a hell of a lot of fun over the whole weekend. And it certainly adds to the vibe. You know, being able to witness the experience in person and witness the whole atmosphere in person, as a commentator, it does make a big difference. You get a chance to speak to the drivers yourself as well. You know, as much as I am spoilt rotten with all of the information that I get given from behind the scenes up here, it is very, very cool to go and see it all happen with your own two eyes. We just have a bit of a waiting period here for the trucks to make their way around to the grid. They have to complete a slow sort of installation lap to make their way around out of the pit lane. And then they will line up. The teams will give the trucks a quick once over and have a look. And then we'll see what we can do. Apologies for that there, everybody. It seems like I was having some sort of...
Achso, geht? Wir können doch. Ja, das ist doch gut. Ich höre Chess gerade nicht mehr, du musst mir ein Go geben.
Aber wir reden Deutsch, oder?
Ja, ich übersetze. So we're here at the Don't Touch Racing team with Sven and we're talking in German right now. Sven, kurz vor dem Rennen, ist eigentlich immer super aufgeregt, aber ihr steht hier so ganz entspannt noch in der Sonne. Das sind so die letzten Sekunden, wo man noch ein bisschen runterfahren kann. Normally it's so exciting before a race, but as you can see, the whole team is standing here in the sun, waiting. Those last seconds, very calm.
Ja, wir sind tiefenentspannt. Wir haben gestern keinen ganz so erfolgreichen Tag gehabt im ersten Rennen. Das zweite Rennen sind wir natürlich vom letzten Platz bis auf Platz 7 vorgefahren. Haben gestern Abend noch ein paar Sekunden gefunden, beziehungsweise Zehntelsekunden. Und haben es jetzt in der erste Startziellinie geschafft, um vom Platz 2 zu starten. Deswegen kann man da, denke ich mal, sehr glücklich drüber sein auf dem Sonntagabend.
Yes, they're very happy because they're obviously starting from P2, and yesterday there was not so easy at the beginning, but then they managed to come from the back up to the front, up to P7. So this is why Sven is really in the good mood, I would say. What are your goals for this race? Was habt ihr euch vorgenommen für dieses Rennen?
Für dieses Rennen unter die Top 3 zu kommen, am besten den Theo noch zu überholen. Theo blockt uns und dann auf dem Podium zu stehen als Erster.
Okay, so he says we're going to enter the podium. We want to be top 3 and to block Theo Calvé so that he will be behind and recursive right now, which is right now. He's here, the truck is entering here on the grid and they're finding their positions. Back to you, Chaz. Stan, ich höre euch nicht.
Steffi certainly not scared to fight amongst it. And there she is, giving us a nice, lovely wave. She's such a fantastic, fantastic character to have in the paddock. And again, very, very experienced indeed. Steffi has been with the championship since 2011. Actually, this is her 12th year in the championship. She got her maiden win in Hungary in 2015. And since then, she has gone on to win 10 races in her FIA European Truck Racing Championship career. She also got a pole position a couple of seasons ago as well. And we go back once more to Christina down there on the grid.
Yes, I want to talk to Steffi Harm. So, wow, what a weekend. Of course, I remember the collision with Theo Calvé, which was really not so amusing for you. Of course, you got a penalty, but the race was kind of over, I would say, for you. So this is Sunday, new race, new possibilities. What are you up to?
Yeah, like you said, yesterday was yesterday, today is today, and we will start from third place. So I hope we will have a good start and no crash in the first lap. and then we will see what happens. I know that the guys are fast, so maybe we can gain a position, but in the end I hope that we can stay on the podium.
Why are the curves here so tricky? We see lots of colleagues from you also touching the penalty markers, and of course if there's no space for you to get around, you need to, it's always impossible to avoid this.
Yeah, you know, it's always everybody is driving on the limit. So when you drive on the limit, you need the whole track. And then it's like close to touch it or not. And at the moment it's very hot, so we also get problems with the tires. The setup is, during the race, it changes. So a lot of things you have to handle with. And I think that's why you sometimes touch the corner marker.
Thank you very much. So lots of things to handle. I'm really glad that I just need to handle that microphone.
Yeah, indeed. Very, very tricky indeed out there for these drivers this afternoon. And we've discussed the temperatures all weekend, to be fair. You would have thought it'd be something that we'd get bored of talking about. But to be honest with you, it is one of the main talking points here at Misano. It does get so hot and very humid as well. Obviously, last time we were here, and Christina will remember this as well, I was ready for a wonderful hot weather weekend. And I turned up with, well, only shorts and T-shirts and one jumper to travel in for the weekend, and well, I wore that jumper throughout the entire thing. So here is your grid then. Theo Calve inherits pole position. He starts alongside number 11 Andre Kurzim on the front row, both of them looking to take a potential surprise victory this afternoon. Steffi Halm lines up alongside Adam Lachko on row 2. Look out for Adam to be a potential winner in this one as well, starting from 4th. We know how quick he can be in these reverse grid races. Antonio Albacete and Sasha Lenz make a very incredible row 3. And then if that's incredible, well, how can we describe row 4? Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kish, 9 titles between them, and nearly 200 race wins between the pair of them as well in this championship. Very difficult to stop those guys coming through the order. Jose Rodriguez will start 9th alongside Anthony Janiak. Anthony's really been enjoying this weekend, getting his elbows out, getting stuck in with some proper scraps. Let's hope more of the same from him, because it is very entertaining. Next up is Rene Reiner in the number 77 machine. The Iveco starts alongside the Scania as Stefan Farse, who got a podium in the Promoters' Cup just earlier. Next up would be Thomas Robineau in the number 21 machine. The Frenchman starts alongside Brit Jamie Anderson in 14th place. Jamie receiving that 10-second penalty earlier today for the incident, with Shane Breton, who will be 15th alongside Clemens Hecker in 16th place. And Christina is back down there on the grid for us.
Yes, we wanted to talk to Antonio Albacete, but maybe you can see it. The team is still in there getting the last adjustments. So let's have a walk then. Why don't we? Because it's really nice greeting him partially. Hello, good job, of course. And do you see that? The fans in front of the truck of the number 1 of Norbert Kish. We will not ruin the photo, but we're trying to catch an interview. Hello. Good to see you. Oh, and he's already talking to someone. Official. So as you can see that, we might sneak a bit apart here and have a look at the team. So these are official matters, of course. Always first, then interview, second choice.
Yeah, that's it. The team's all discussing what they need to. Officials in there as well, just making sure that any information necessary is communicated. But this is, like you say, Christina, the important part of a race weekend for these drivers and teams, just preparing in the final few moments ahead of the race. Because until you get out there on the grid, until the truck has been race prepared, you never quite know what might get thrown at you. In a lot of motorsport I've seen in the past, I've seen issues on warm-up laps or even installation laps going to the grid for cars, for trucks, even for motorbikes as well. So it can still be a little challenge within itself, just getting the machine to the grid and getting it all prepared in a place where the driver and the team are all happy. There is our official truck and our pace truck at the very front. And back down to you, Christina.
Anthony Janiak, aujourd'hui pas de français, mais anglais. J'espère. I hope so. So English. So you're starting from P10. It was always really tough to compete in the reverse grid. What are you hoping for?
Yes, I hope fighting and finish top 7, top 8 for my team. It's a good place. I hope 2, 3 plus. I overtake in depart, in the start. I don't know.
Sounds good to me. How are you dealing with the weather? It's really a theme today.
Yes, it's really very hot today. Uh, it's good for my truck. It's good. It's very hot. No problem for me.
Anthony Janiak on the sunny side of the street.
And like he says, the very hot is not a problem for me. And, well, he's very right there, actually, because, I mean, it's a hot yellow truck as well. I imagine that when that thing parks up in a paddock, there's flies and bugs all over it. They tend to stick to yellow objects. Andre Kurzim's truck isn't too immune to that either. But the temperature definitely still rising in Misano right now. It's been around 30 degrees all weekend. It's pretty incredible. You can see the heat haze from our cameras as well. But all of the drivers and teams with both doors open on the truck. Teo Calve was reporting earlier that it was 45 degrees at least inside the cab of his truck. So it really shows you how much of a difficult time these guys have got. And I think I see Christina there positioning herself to chat to Norbert Kish down there on the grid. Am I right, Christina?
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right, as you are always, Chaz. So this is Norbert Kish, reverse grid. We talked about it. Yes, of course, if you win a race, then the second race, you need to start from this position over here. But it's going to be tricky. It's going to be narrow. What are your plans for this race?
Never know. We see what opportunities arise during the race, and we see if we can take some of those opportunities. I mean, yesterday, I think it was a really good race, with some good opportunities and good overtaking. So yeah, hope to do the same today as well. To have a better start than yesterday, and try to see if we can do something.
How much space do you need for overtaking? Just a little, I think.
Yeah, not really much. Just a track width, But we will see. Second race always crazy. Everybody's try to fight for the podium, and everybody's defending like crazy, so you never know what happens. And, like I said, I try to take my opportunities.
Sounds great to me. Thank you very much, Norbert Kish. So, yeah, he just leads the space of a truck. But for me, this is a lot of space, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They are big, old, wide machines, are these racing trucks. They may be smaller than the trucks that we see on the road, but they're not that much smaller. They're still big, old, beastie machines. And these guys do need quite a lot of room to get past. It's still fantastic to see that they do go 2 wide, even 3 wide in certain situations. I remember when the footage started emerging of Stefan Farse's accident at the Hungaroring last season that pretty much went viral, actually, all over YouTube and in crash compilations everywhere. Luckily, Stefan was okay, so we were quite comfortable to share the footage. But still, the amount of people that were saying, wow, Formula One cars can't overtake around the Hungaroring. We never thought that trucks would be able to, but these trucks certainly show a number of different disciplines in motorsport, exactly how wide a circuit is and exactly what you can do with a racing circuit, given the right machinery. And I'll tell you what, it certainly paves the way for a number of other championships to try and copy. Here is our official truck, the beautiful Ford F-Max, which was International Truck of the Year in 2019. It reminds us that Ford is very much still a strong partner of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And in a couple of moments' time, we will see Ralph set off down the start-finish straight here at Misano, and he will then get on with the first of his reconnaissance laps to lead the field around. And then we will have the Iveco S-Way driven by Frank, which will then make its way around with the field behind it on their official formation lap. There goes Ralph then, in the F-Max, on his merry way, and it may seem like a sedate way to set off, but when you consider the size and the weight of this truck, well, the way that it can put a lap together is actually very, very impressive. He's an incredibly quick driver, is Ralph, and a really good guy as well. He gave me my first ride around this circuit in one of these trucks. And to say he scared the life out of me would be an understatement. I had my backpack with me. I thought, oh, it's safe putting it on the floor there. Ended up pretty much in the back of the cab, upside down with everything falling out of it. And same with me. I nearly ended up in the middle of the cab as well, to be honest with you. They do actually have huge bars that you can hold onto on the vertical pillars of these trucks. And, well, I needed both hands to hold onto it, especially there into turn 4, where Ralph is throwing the truck right now. And very quickly, we go back to Christina once more.
Yes, because the doors need to be shut right now. Antonio Albacete, your team was so happy. I was there when he was tried to overtake, and they was just cheering up. What are your goals for this race?
Well, I hope the same as yesterday, you know, but now it's going to be difficult. I mean, the goals is to keep the pace, you know, try to be on the race and try to make as many plays as possible, you know. I mean, it will be a dream if we win again, but I think it's not going to be the same. So, yeah, just to do the best and see what happens.
But one win already. Good luck for this race. Thank you very much, Tim Frost, for taking the net away from us. And yes, you saw the team of T-Sport Berno. They're always so excited for him driving, and we were joining them as he was, as I mentioned, winning first of all, and today had a good position as well. So always good to see that.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, Antonio is an absolute star of the championship. You know, he's been around for so long that, you know, it would be strange not to have him around on the grid. But he's still fighting. He's still aiming for those wins. He's still trying for the title. And it's just a pleasure to watch, an absolute pleasure to watch. So he got the race win yesterday after starting yesterday's second race, funnily enough, from third on the grid. Sorry, fifth on the grid. Apologies. After finishing, yeah, of course, in fifth? Third? Fifth? I've got my result sheets mixed up. That's exactly what's happened here. So, race 2 yesterday, it was Antonio Albacete starting fifth on the grid from where he won the race. He starts this race from fifth. That is Stefan Farse, who is definitely not going to be starting the race from 12th on the grid. He's going to be starting from the end of the pit lane. Not quite sure what the issue is there, but I'm sure in due course I will find out one way or another. At least it's not enough of a problem to stop him from taking part in the race. That's the good thing there. There is always a silver lining. There's the number 21 of Thomas Robinot as his team make their way back into the pit lane and into the paddock to their necessary stations to keep an eye on the upcoming race. And all of the personnel are cleared out of the way. And the hard work will now begin for the drivers. You can see the beautiful Freightliner on the front row there. Pole position for Teo Calve, truck 20 on the left-hand side of your screen. Steffi Halm already waiting and watching the drivers in front. There is Rolf Werner, managing director of the ETRA. He is a man with a very, very dry sense of humour, I can tell you that. I love a dry sense of humour, and I love Rolf Uxtar. Very, very good at his job as well. Keeps everybody in check. And as you can see, he's doing that right now. Makes his way off the grid. Everything looking good from where they are. All drivers and teams seem to be happy. And then we will get the formation lap underway. And we'll have another look at the grid for you, just to give you an idea of who's going to be starting where and what potential drivers and teams might be able to make some advancements here. Just one final once-over checking the grid from Rolf. And the sponsor-covered Bagheera ZM racing truck of Teo Calve will lead us away. That team has always had fantastic branding and a great look about it. Their media and social media posts are always really well put together as well, I have to admit. They always have fantastic camera gimbals and wonderful equipment carried around with them wherever they go. And they document all of their racing weekends. I think my voice even appeared on one of their videos from last year, actually, as well, regarding this championship, as we used to have the 3 Bagheera trucks, Teo Calve, Adam Lachko, and Alia Kolok. Alia and her sister Yasmin are racing in the French FFSA GT4 championship this year, sharing a car together. But the grid makes its way down towards turn 1 then for the final race of the weekend. I can't believe already that we're here at race 4. this soon on. Teo Calvé will start from pole position. Andrei Kurzim will line up alongside him in the number 11 Don't Touch Racing machine. Steffi Halm makes it another Iveco with Adam Lachko in 4th position. Then it's Antonio Alberthetti and Sasha Lenz on row 3. Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch make a very important row 4. Race 1 and race 3 winner starting 8th. Jose Rodriguez will line up in 9th spot. He's going to be the 2nd place Promoters Cup driver on the grid, with Anthony Janiak starting in 10th. Keep your eye on Anthony. He said before that the temperature works well for him and his truck. René Reiner will start 11th, the number 77 machine. He had to defend quite early on in the earlier races. And then Stefan Farse will line up alongside him, or he should do at least, in 12th position. He is making his way back out on the track as far as I know. Doesn't seem like he's there yet, but they might actually let him come out from the end of the pit lane to catch up with the back of the train, but he may have to start last. And it is confirmed that Farse's truck just wasn't ready in time. I think they had damage to the turbocharger or something along those lines. And there you see, we have our official pace truck, the Iveco S-Way, powered by Bio LNG. It's the reason for those humongous and very beautiful chrome tanks that we have down the side of it. I think I just saw Stefan Farse actually just joining onto the back of the train. So we'll keep our eye out and see whether he comes through. He might just come through shot now. I think he overtook the sort of official car at the back of the field. I think it was the medical car that he just overtook. Either that or I'm seeing things. Yeah, it looks like it might be the latter. Oh well. Right then. Last 2 rows on the grid. I didn't quite complete the grid run through. Thomas Robineau and Jamie Anderson side by side. Jamie will be hoping not to smash into anybody else in this race. We could potentially look at the fact that it's the only right-hand drive truck in the field. Shane Breton, the reigning Promoters Cup champion, he's going to be hoping for a lot more points out of this race. Keep your eye on him and his progress as he starts alongside Clemens Hecker on the 8th and final row of the grid. I take it from this now that Stefan Farse will start from the pit lane, because I definitely do not see him there. This is where I'm going to prove myself wrong and see him there, isn't it? Now you can see there's a gap next to René Reiner. There is the number 77. Stefan is supposed to be alongside him. Looks like there's still bits missing from René Reiner's truck. It doesn't look like the bodywork is all complete on that machine to me. Maybe they were preempting the fact that he's going to get his elbows out in this one. There's Frank leading us around in the Iveco S-Way, really throwing that thing through turn 14. Another corner where I almost fell out of the truck last year. But the field now coasting their way around into turn 16. Curva Misano to get the last race of the weekend underway. Norbert Kisch looks to the left-hand side, just identifies who he's got in front of him, who might make a good start and who might not. But it's Teo Calvé that's going to determine the pace. Andrei Kurzim alongside him. And the 4th and final race of the weekend, the opening weekend of the 2022 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, is underway, and there's already contact. Andrei Kurzim goes nowhere. Adam Lachko piles into the back of him, rips the front end off the Freightliner. And Andrei Kurzim, well, he's been freight trained and he's gone completely to the back. He must have some sort of problem as he stepped on it. There's contact between Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch there as they go through turn 1. The two of them end up on the inside of the first chicane. Teo Calvé's had a free pass here to try and break away. Steffi Halm trying to go with him. This is on board with Norbert Kisch. Jochen Hahn surely around here somewhere. Adam Lachko on right-hand side as Norby tries to squeeze the gap around the outside of turn 4. Gets a big old clout in the right-hand side from somebody. I'd put my money on that being Jochen Hahn. The two of them fighting together, but Teo Calvé leads the race. Great start from him. He didn't have to worry about Andrei Kurzim's problems. And it does look like Norbert Kisch, Anthony Janiak and Jochen Hahn all getting into a big scrap together. That's a big old lock-up for Steffi Halm. She goes straight on at turn 8. And look at that. Fantastic stuff by Sasha Lenz. He's gone from 6th up to 2nd in a matter of corners. Jochen Hahn now having to defend from Anthony Janiak. Norbert Kisch is very importantly in front of Jochen right now, and that's what he wanted to do early on in this race. Behind them, you've got Jose Rodriguez looking down the inside as well. Fantastic opening lap by a number of these guys. Antonio Alberthetti there having a go at Adam Lachko just ahead of us as we ride on board with Norbert Kisch. Nobby moving this way and that way, trying to defend from one, then the other. And Farse is still apparently in the pit lane, so he hasn't actually gone back out on the circuit, which is a big shame. So not quite sure what's going on there, but listen to these things roll their way down into turn 13. And oh no, Teo Calve's gone straight on at turn 13, rejoins at 14, and Sascha Lenz has got the lead. Sascha Lenz from 6th on the grid takes the lead at the end of lap 1. Unbelievable stuff. Sascha really going about this one. Well, he may have had some horrible words to say about his engine and his clutch earlier on, telling it to... I'm not even going to repeat it, but he has actually nailed this race start. Brilliant stuff to see. There's bits of truck all over the place already. Adam Lachko's truck looks like it's ready to end the weekend early. 2 Bagheera ZM trucks in the top 4. Teo Calve now trying it on around the outside of Sascha Lenz. He's then got to think about defending from Steffi Halm. Teo's still got his nose down the inside there. Just about missing the back of Sascha Lenz. The start is under investigation. I imagine that's something to do with Andrei Kurzim. He was 21 seconds off the pack. Adam Lachko now down the inside of Steffi Halm. Big lockup, though, from the Freightliner. Massive amounts of smoke, and I'm expecting to see the order shuffled up. Yes, and Antonio Albacetti's gone through. Antonio says, well, muchas gracias, and off he goes. Up into 3rd place. Lachko now 4th. Halm 5th. Then it's Jochen Hahn, who has got back ahead of Norbert Kish after all of that fighting earlier. I can bet you that Jochen has given as good as he got there and chucked it back down the inside. He's going to try and overtake his teammate Steffi Halm. The two of them teaming up again this season, I should say, as Die Bullen von Iveco. And has Norbert Kish got a problem? Has Norby got an issue? Because he's suddenly fallen prey to Anthony Janiak there, where he looked like he went into the corner considerably ahead of him. As whoa, big lockup in the background there. Who was that going straight on? Oh, it was Adam Lachko. He's had another lockup. This time he doesn't take Steffi Halm with him. She says, get out on that dust, son. Wow. Gives him absolutely no room to come back on. If you thought a normal everyday racing car kicked up a lot of dust when it went in the gravel, you should see how much comes off the circuit or comes back onto the circuit when these trucks go off. Oh, I tell you what, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't enjoying this massively. You could probably tell. Norbert Kish then right up behind Adamco, trying to look for the move. But look at Sascha Lenz. He's loving this right now, I imagine. Hopefully no further issues with his gearbox. And Norby's having to defend like mad here, but big train behind him, chasing him down. He's got Jose Rodriguez and Rene Reiner behind Anthony Janiak there. Shane Breton's made it up into 11th place after starting 15th, so he's made good progress. He's not into the top 10 positions yet for overall points. He needs to just make one more spot up on Rene Reiner to start getting those on the board. It's not something we're used to, though, to see Norbert Kish floundering in the middle of the pack here with trucks queuing up behind him to have a go. They must have had some sort of contact that's caused an issue for him. Andrei Kurzim has come back into the pits. There's a look at the start again. You can see the damage on Adam Lachko's truck from the very beginning. Now, Jochen Hahn having a go here at Antonio Albacete. At Le Mans last year, when the two of them finished 1st and 2nd, Jochen described them as the old guys. But they're still there fighting and still enjoying their racing. Norbert Kish surely has a problem, though, after the earlier contact. I would love to have seen what happened between Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kish to swap that position back. But the whole field continues to filter their way around. But look at this, yeah, Norby's having to defend very, very much so now from everybody queuing up behind him. Anthony Janiak, the first of them. This is Stefan Farse in the 24 Scania. Very much on his own right now, unfortunately. But at least he's still out there on circuit. He'll still score points in the Promoters' Cup as long as he finishes the race. And for him, that'll be the main goal this season, to get that Scania right up there in the title fight. Sascha Lenz doing everything he needs to do right now. Teo Calve holding on for what's going to be a good 2nd place if he can continue to hold it. But when you've got a queue of Antonio Albacete, Jochen Hahn, Steffi Halm and Adam Lachko behind you, it is a difficult bunch of people to hold off. And in the pit lane, after another difficult start to the race, is Andrei Kurzim with Christina, I believe.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. What happened during that first lap?
Our throttle pedal is broken.
So no chance to get off?
No. It's over for today.
Absolutely, so no chance to get that fixed, to get out, of course. How devastated are you?
Yes, I will say it's Misano 2.0. It was a very bad weekend for us. Yes. Should happen.
So heads up, and I hope to see you next race weekend then with a better mood.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, you can see here, he's absolutely devastated, and I can fully understand that.
Yeah, definitely. It's not easy when you have a technical issue with the vehicle. You know, it's nothing that the driver has done wrong at all, but we saw that the truck just didn't get going off the start. Apologies once again for the language, though, there, everybody. I mean, these guys love swearing in interviews, don't they? But, you know, they don't back down from speaking their minds. They absolutely love doing that, and we love them for it, you know. It's great to hear the honest opinions of these drivers, and, you know, it is one of those moments where, I have to agree, regardless of what Andre said there. I have to agree. You know, these things in motorsport, they do happen sometimes. And last year was an absolute nightmare of a race meeting for them as well at the end of the season. He retired from races 1 and 3, didn't even start race 2. And then when he did make it out onto the grid for race 4, he finished 13th. So absolutely 0 points. And he lost a position in the championship to Steffi Halm, who scored a podium that weekend. Norbert Kish is very, very much here struggling to hold on against Anthony Janiak, and we saw how much Anthony likes to get his elbows out earlier. Norby needs to watch his mirrors right now, and I've said it a few times already, but there's definite lasting effects from the contact he had earlier. There is the Teo Calve train, the Teo train. Once again, we used to see the Trulli train in Formula 1, but we've got 2 packs of 5 here. Teo Calve and Norbert Kish, very much the locomotives, the diesel locomotives at the front of these quintets. You can see a number of the trucks all fanning out behind Teo Calve to make sure that they don't sit in the slipstream. It's very much all of the sort of white and blue and white and orange trucks in this pack, is it not? Teo Calve, Antonio Albuquerque, Jochen Hahn, Steffi Halm and Adam Lachko. Jochen trying to get past Antonio, who isn't making too many advances on getting past Calve right now. But Teo doesn't have too much to worry about in the Promoters' Cup. He's still leading that by a long shot. And we go back down to Christina.
Yes, he still got his clothes on, but unfortunately he was not able to race. What happened?
Wir hatten im letzten Rennen einen Turboladerschaden und haben jetzt probiert, über die kurze Pause den Turbolader zu erneuern. Wir haben den Turbolader zwar reingeschraubt bekommen, teilweise, aber nicht komplett fertig. Das Auto hat jetzt keine Leistung. Und jetzt sind wir quasi eine Runde gefahren und hab direkt festgestellt, dass die Leistung komplett fehlt, der Turbolader nicht richtig arbeitet und somit habe ich mich dafür entschieden, hier draußen einfach rauszufahren, um nicht einen größeren Schaden zu produzieren.
So I'm going to translate that he's had a turbo damage and they were trying to fix that. They had a new one and they all screwed it in almost, and that was the problem. So it was not working properly, and so the engine couldn't get that power he needed. And then he decided, okay, I cannot compete today. It does not make sense. Maybe we destroy more on the truck, then it would really help. So unfortunately, he's out.
Thank you very much, Christina. Great stuff, as always, to hear from the drivers and see what's going on. You can see now, though, that the battle has very much changed here for second place. Antonio Albuquerque has got past Teo Calve, and now Jochen Hahn wants to make his way through as well. I think the two of them just made contact for a second there, going into Curva Misano at turn 16. And I think Jochen Hahn, no, he's not actually ahead. I thought he might have gone down the inside and made it through. But as you heard about Stefan Farse, turbo damage and keeping the truck out there on track, well, it would have harmed it more than it would have fixed it. So they've decided to pull the plug on today and the race weekend as Jochen Hahn and Teo Calve make contact. Steffi Halm wants to go down the inside, but she's having more contact with Adam Lachko with whatever the hell's left of the front of his truck. And again, Steffi comes back on, says no thank you. Adam, get over there. And that looks like it's actually let the front right tyre down on Lachko's truck. I think that front right tyre is completely deflated after that second bit of contact. I've luckily, thanks to Smart Witness as ever, I've actually been sent the footage of the opening laps, and it was Adam Lachko, Antonio Albuquerque and Norbert Kish that were all 3 wide into the first chicane. So Antonio has been hit into the side of Norby, and then that has made some sort of massive dent in the side of Norby's truck, and that's obviously what's affected his pace. There's no pace affected here, says Jochen Hahn. Throws it down the inside of Theo Calve. He continues to move forward, and he knows that this is important now. If he wants to fight with Norbert Kish in the championship, he needs to score big points when Norbert is not doing so. And you can see he's really struggling. He's made very, very heavy contact with the 2 penalty markers. Those poor things. Absolutely flattened there. But Norbert will not be too happy with this one. René Reiner moves in on him a little bit there. Makes a bit of contact as they go up towards turns 9 and 10. And this is them on the exit. I imagine René Reiner, he's either off the road or he's around here somewhere. But Norbert Kish clearly suffering in some way here, down to 7th position in this race. I say down to, he started 8th on the grid. As we have Adam Lachko there at the side of the road. That is on the exit of turn 6. That's on the back straight. And unfortunately, after that extra bit of contact there with Steffi Halm, Adam is out of the race. A bit of a tough weekend for Adam, actually. He retired in one of the earlier races, didn't he? Finished the first race of the weekend in 5th. He then retired from race 2 and then had another 5th place in the 3rd race of the weekend earlier on today. Antonio Alberthetti then back up into 2nd position. Jochen Hahn in 3rd. The old guys, as they call themselves. Theo Calve with more bodywork hanging off that truck than I don't know what to talk about. Bits and bobs of it all out of shape and battered. It's been a tough weekend for Bagheera. They had 2 of their trucks, pretty sure yesterday in the 2nd race, starting on the 2nd row of the grid. They did. It was Calve from Lachko on the 2nd row. We have a number of them still circulating. We've just lost 3 of them so far. But this man, well, he's more than circulating, isn't he? Sasha Lenz doing a fantastic job leading this race. Started 6th on the grid. By the end of lap 1, he was in the lead. And, well, he's not looked back since then, has he? Thanks once again to Smart Witness for sending me footage of the manoeuvre from Jochen Hahn overtaking Norbert Kish. He did it on the start-finish straight a little bit earlier on. Kish clearly having problems getting the truck out of the corners quickly. It seems to be that initial punch on corner exit that he's having problems with. But Sasha Lenz, well, a driver that won 4 races last season and had a very, very big tally of 11 podiums come the end of it. He's looking good to take his first win of this season in the first race meeting. He won the very first race, actually, in 2021 at the Hungaroring after a retirement for Norbert Kish. He then finished 2nd in the 3rd race and then 6th again after that one. He was on the podium in at least 1 race at every race meeting last year. Just shows you how consistent and how fast he always is. Theo Calve holding on ahead of Steffi Halm right now as well, doing a great job there. Norbert Kish continues to hold René Reiner, Jose Rodriguez, Shane Breton, Thomas Robineau all at bay. Sasha Lenz's SL Truck Sport 30 machine looking very, very good right now. And look at that, kicking the back end out, really using the oversteer to his advantage through the chicane. A couple of years ago, I never in my life thought I'd see anybody ever drift the back end of a truck out around a racing track, but here I am. That's Jamie Anderson and Clemens Hecker. Those 2 12th and 13th at the moment, only separated by a couple of lengths. Fighting away towards the back of the pack, but still fighting for points. Those 2 are both in the Chrome category, racing in the Promoters' Cup. And Anthony Janiak doing well, actually. He's in 6th position right now. Started 10th on the grid in this one. And there you go. There's a drive-through penalty for Jose Rodriguez for hitting the penalty markers for the 3rd time. And that's going to actually drop him down out of a podium spot in the Promoters' Cup. And I've been sent more footage actually showing Sasha Lenz's race start, where it was an absolute corker. He got a really good run down the straight, went past a number of them before they even got into turn 1, but he was very late on the brakes on the outside and swooped around Lachko and, of course, all of the ailing drivers behind that tried to avoid Andre Kurzim. We watch here, though, Jamie Anderson under attack from Clemens Hecke. There's something scraping along the ground off the back of Clemens Hecker's truck and the front. Actually, I think it's all off the front. It's the bodywork that's been dented in at certain points. Norbert Kish has lost a bunch of places here, I think. Looked to me like he was behind Shane Breton. Oh, no, there he is. Apologies, I got him confused with Thomas Robineau, but now he's behind René Reiner. I only saw the back of the truck for a moment there, the red machine. But now Norbert Kish drops another place. He won't be too chuffed with that, but there's definitely some sort of damage here, and this will do damage to his championship. It means he's not completely running away with it, so for us watching, it's great entertainment to see it shaken up like this. But you can definitely understand that there may be some frustrations from Norbert Kish after this race. Jamie Anderson there. Looks like the front bodywork's missing, actually, that goes over the grille on that number 33 MAN. The grille is completely exposed on that truck. There is an incident between 77 and 14. That's René Reiner and Jose Rodriguez that is under investigation right now. Rodriguez is serving his drive-through penalty. So he's going to drop down the order a good couple of positions at least. I think he will drop down to 13th. Yes, he has, actually. You can see there on the timing tower. Norbert Kish now getting overtaken by Shane Breton. Whatever the problem is for Norby, it's getting worse and worse as the race goes on. Shane around the outside. Promoters Cup reigning champion overtakes overall reigning champion. And is it me, or is one of the tyres flat on Norby's truck? Is that what the problem is? Now, don't forget, they have two wheels on either side at the rear of these trucks. I think one of those tyres on the back end is down. The very right rear, you can see it, the outside right rear, seems to be bobbling around like mad. They can continue without at least one of those tyres and complete the races. We've seen it before. We had drivers last season where they would have big contact, they'd burst a tyre completely, and they were still able to be of some competitive pace. I mean, we've seen Norby defending up to this point. Look at that wonderful rotating shot there from above. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Sasha Lenz crosses the line then and is now 8.1 seconds clear of Antonio Alberthetti. He is flying. Antonio's going to watch his mirrors, though, because with a few laps left to go, sorry, not Sasha Lenz, Jochen Hahn is closing in on him for second place. A reminder there that all of our trucks are powered by 100% renewable HVO diesel, so while the racing the cleanest this afternoon, in some ways, it is clean racing. There's second place, Antonio Alberthetti. We can't even see Sasha Lenz from where these guys are. Sasha is very much cleared off into the distance. Teo Calve still under a lot of pressure from Steffi Halm. Steffi wants to make up for yesterday, I imagine, where Teo absolutely belted into the side of her Iveco in the opening stages of race 2. She started right near the front of the grid and unfortunately was caught up in that and thrown off the road. There was a penalty given out for that, but obviously that didn't give Steffi her positions back. And Jose Rodriguez has unfortunately retired from the race. It did show he was in the pit lane for a long time, but he's got a broken brake disc. And there's been confirmation as well that while Sasha Lenz may have led the race at the end of the first lap, by the first corner he was third. It's just amazing. We don't see starts like that very often in the Goodyear FIA ETRC. But look at this. It looks like he's off for just a wonderful countryside drive on his own at the moment here in eastern Italy. Alberthetti and Hahn right up there as well. And then Teo Calve still defending from Steffi Halm. Anthony Janiak, he's closing in on them a little bit as well. And the number 21, which is Thomas Robineau, is being given a black and orange flag and being warned of black smoke. So he will have to come into the pits, make whatever adjustments necessary. And we're going to quickly nip down to Christina, and she's back in the pit lane for us.
Yes, with José Rodrigues. José, o que é que aconteceu?
Portanto, com a disputa de lugar, parteu-me um disco. O aquecimento de travões parteu-me um disco.
So you just confirmed that the brake disc has been broken, so but you could stop the car. Podia, como se diz, arretar.
Era danificar mais alguma coisa e preferi parar, para não estar a estragar mais nada.
So maybe there was something else which was not really correct then. You were heading to the podium. Querias ir para o pódio outra vez. Está muito triste. Of course, he's devastated.
Não, eu sou realista. A gente quando já não conseguia, não vale a pena.
Obrigado, Green. And he said, I'm the realistic guy. If it's not possible, it is what it is, as Barbara is always saying as well.
That's very true indeed, actually, it is. And it's something I've started saying a lot more often as well. Maybe it's rubbing off on me. But yeah, it's a real shame to see Jose Rodriguez out of the race. But at the end of the day, he's just as realistic as we would be in that situation. If the truck is not safe to continue driving around at racing pace, then, well, I don't think anybody would continue to do so, would they? I think it's safety is of the utmost priority in these situations. You can want to go racing as much as you like, but at the end of the day, if you can't do it in a safe manner, or at least if your equipment isn't then in a safe condition after contact or whatever reason earlier in a race, then nobody would urge you to continue on in that way. So we have completed 11 out of 12 laps. We will be on to the final lap as of now, I believe. Either that or we are just going to go on to it next time round. Now, this is the last lap. There we go. Has been confirmed on our timing tower on the left. So Sascha Lenz only has a couple more corners left to go. There you go. There's confirmation as well from our cameraman. Thank you very much indeed. There is confirmation of your race leader. Sascha Lenz continues to fly around here at Misano. His last time was a 2:05.3, 2:05.1 for Jochen Hahn, actually, a 2:05.4 for Antonio Albertetti. So Jochen is actually the fastest guy on track right now. Norbert Kish is still out there in 9th position. He's got quite the gap over Jamie Anderson. What a great drive this has been, by the way, by Shane Breton. Shane Breton started 15th on the grid, and he's now up into 8th place, 2nd in the Promoters' Cup. That is a really solid drive, and that's what he needed this afternoon. Anthony Janiek and René Reiner, they're up there in 6th and 7th place. They started 10th and 11th on the grid as well. Really, really strong progress by some of these guys. Antonio Albertetti up to 2nd from 5th. Sascha Lenz, though, what an amazing start he had. 6th to 1st in the first lap, 6th to 3rd by the first corner. This has been one hell of a drive by Sascha Lenz, and a real bit of proof to everybody that he is not just sitting in the back seat in the opening stages of this championship or any stages of this championship. He's here to fight, and he is here to prove to everybody that he is not going to slow down in 2022, and he wants that title just as much as he did last year. He's coming through the final corner now into Curva Misano, turn 16 here at Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli. And Sascha Lenz kicks the back end out, drifts much like Norby did earlier, and takes the win in the final race of the day. Beautiful performance by Sascha. A very, very well-deserved victory. And a lot of hard work went into getting T-Sport Benau on the podium this weekend, but Antonio Albertetti does it once again. Jochen Hahn finishes 3rd, and Teo Calve takes his 2nd win of the day in the Promoters' Cup. Great performance, 4th overall. Steffi Halm finishes in 5th, ahead of Anthony Janiek. Truck 66 gets P6, and just across the line, that's almost a dead heat there by the look of it, between René Reiner and Shane Breton. René just gets 7th place, ahead of Shane in the end, but Shane will still get 2nd in the Promoters' Cup. Norbert Kish takes a 9th position finish. Well, his lowest position when he finished a race last year was 8th place at Zolder in race 2. So that is his lowest finish in, well, the 2 seasons that we discussed. But Sascha Lenz takes the win, and he will be very, very relieved after that one, especially with the clutch issues earlier on that we heard him talk about with Christina. Antonio Albertetti finishes in 2nd place. Spaniard doing another amazing job this weekend. And Jochen Hahn gets another podium. Sasha will leave Misano with a big smile on his face. As you can hear somebody somewhere. I'm sure it's Jochen Hahn doing some massive drifting. And yet, smoke and, of course, rubber all laid down on the circuit. You can see some of the liquid actually coming out of the front of the trucks as well. Let's not forget that these machines have liquid-cooled brakes, which the drivers must spray water on while they are actually mid-race to make sure that they stay in that 450-degree operating window. Yet another thing for these drivers to do while they circulate. But Sasha Lenz taking a very, very well-deserved win. More body panels and bits of truck for the organisers and the stewards and the marshals and everybody to pick up once the action is done. But doesn't time fly when you're having fun? It's incredible how quickly these race weekends fly by. We've had 2 qualifying sessions, 4 races, 2 practice sessions, and even a warm-up on Saturday. And before you know it, the racing action in the first weekend of the 2022 season is at an end. Look at the drifting there by Sasha Lenz and, of course, Jochen Hahn. These things are apparently rather easy to drift because of the fact that there's no weight over the rear end. All of the weight is over the front there. Over 5 tons. 3 tons of that at least must be weighed over the front axle alone. So despite a lot of the weight being in the middle where the engine is, the fact that these things have very little weight over those rear wheels is what makes them so exciting to watch. They can really kick out the back end when they need to, and especially when they want to, they can drift these trucks very, very well. This is what it feels like, though, to make your way down the pit lane towards a crowd of adoring fans after winning a race in the FIA ETRC, the Goodyear FIA ETRC. Sasha Lenz arrives to rapturous applause. And there you can see Christina over on the left-hand side as well, waiting for drivers to hop out and come in for an interview. Antonio Alberthetti rolling his truck backwards slightly, I think maybe so he doesn't whack the door on Sasha Lenz's truck. Jochen Hahn moves to his left-hand side as well. And there you go, punching the air with absolute delight. Sasha Lenz, that one means a lot, that. He opens his account of race victories at the start of the season. And to get one early on is very, very important. You don't want to start a championship on the back foot. You want to be right up there from the very beginning, and that's exactly what he's managed to do here. He has secured themselves a lot of very, very good points. And a shout-out needs to go, actually, as well, to Jamie Anderson, you know. He's finished in the top 10 in this race, and he is on the podium with Shane Breton in the Promoters' Cup. I mentioned earlier that they both needed to get on with the job in this race. And they have done exactly that. That is Antonio Alberthetti's second podium of the weekend, is it not? He finished the first race of the weekend in 4th, won the second race, finished 4th again in the third race. And yes, that is his second podium outright this weekend. Great stuff. A strong weekend, to be fair, for T-Sport Bernau. A third, a fourth, and then a third. Sorry, I can't even get my stats right, can I? A fourth, and then a win, and then a fourth, and then a third. So, not bad at all. And Jochen Hahn will be happy after his weekend too. After last season, where it didn't seem to sort of kick into gear for him until the latter stages, he'll be really pleased to have got so many podiums early on in the championship. A man of much experience, many, many strong results. Jochen will still save it, every single one. He really enjoys his time here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and he is an absolute stalwart of the series. Antonio Alberthetti there receiving congratulations from his team. And a great feeling all around, I imagine, after a difficult winter for them in T-Sport Bernau. I spoke to some of the guys from the team and spoke to Teo Calve, actually, about their test at Nagara. Somebody put a lot of oil down on the circuit, and then when they cleared that up, it started raining, so they couldn't get much dry running out there, and their testing over winter was interrupted. Someone who we don't want to interrupt, though, is Christina, who's down there with race winner Sasha Lenz.
Thank you very much, but it's not for me, it's for this winner. Antonio Alberthetti is greeting Sasha Lenz. Congratulations. We talked earlier on, and we were talking about how you need to change the clutch It was better driving than the truck with a functioning clutch, wasn't it?
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Also hat jetzt alles funktioniert. Ein Lob an meine Crew, die haben super Arbeit geleistet, ganz Wochenende. Ja, was soll ich sagen? Wir hatten einen sehr guten Start gehabt. Ich glaube, ich war nach der ersten Runde schon Erster gewesen. Steffi hat sich verbremst, dann der Theo hier hinten in der Kurzanbindung hat er sich verbremst und man konnte die ganze Zeit, oder ich konnte das ausnutzen. Bin dann ein ruhiges Rennen gefahren quasi. Habe natürlich die ganze Zeit versucht zu pushen, weil ich wusste ja auch nicht, wer kommt von hinten. Ja, im letzten Rennen war ja Jochen und Nobby auch etwas schneller als wir. Deswegen halt versucht, jede Runde gleich zu fahren und ja, am Ende hat es gereicht. Ja.
That was super. So he said great effort from the team, of course. They were changing the clutch so quickly and they did a really great job. So he said everything was fine, the engine was running really, really tight. And then he said, yeah, I had a really good first round over there and we'll have a look at that later. He was talking about Steffi Harm and Theo Calvé, of course, the contestants which he was dealing with. And then he was up front and he didn't know who was really in the back because he said, you know, last race, Norbert Kirsch and Jochen Hahn, they were quite quick as well. And so he was trying to get the overall a good speed, a good pace. And maybe to our editors, let's have a look at the start. We try something new. Wir wollen mal was ausprobieren. Wir gucken uns nämlich mal den Start gemeinsam an. Jetzt musst du das mal so drehen, dass du es sehen kannst. You need to see. So that's the start right here. I'm going to give you a bit of a shadow. That's not good from the camera perspective. Can you commentate on that? What do you see?
Yeah, what I see, I have a brilliant start. The other guys they go all in the inside. I go on the outside. I very faster on the outside with the guys in the inside. So and that was the point that I can overtake the guys.
So right now we do see ourselves. That's interesting as well. But maybe the editors can put in the start. Or again, we're going to show it one more time for you to have a look. How is it seeing yourself driving there?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah? It's a nice truck. So, no, it was good. Brilliant.
Good picture and good strategy. I know sometimes it's not about strategy, it's about reaction.
I have no contact with Steffi, so we give us place. So it was fair. And then she make a mistake, so I can overtake. So it's life.
That's life and up to the podium right now. Congratulations. So really nice having a look with a driver to the scenes.
Yeah, fantastic start that by Sascha Lenz, and that was really important to his race. You know, it made the job a lot easier. He was higher up the order as early as possible at the early stages, and to be honest with you, from there, he could just pick it off one by one. The mistake from Theo Calvé at the end of the lap and the mistake from Steffi Halm on that first lap, meaning that he could gain 2 places straight away from a podium spot after turn 1, and off he goes. He even wants a bit of a smoke as he goes back up to the podium. But, you know, these drivers need it. You know, they really need to try and calm down very quickly and just come back down to earth from Cloud 9 at the end of a race. And we follow Sascha all the way up towards the podium, and he'll be a very, very happy man when he gets yet another trophy for his troubles. And he's actually finished on the podium in all 4 races this weekend. He finished 3rd in race 1, 2nd in race 2, 3rd again this morning, and then takes a race win. What a fantastically consistent weekend that is by Sascha Lenz, much like we saw at the Hungaroring last year to kick the championship off. He and Jochen Hahn there both having a smoke again as they did earlier on. Absolutely loving it, aren't they? Really showing us all how it's done in this championship once again. Continuing with incredible pace, incredible consistency. And I really look forward to seeing how the two of them will fight and take the fight to drivers like Norbert Kirsch and Adam Lachko as the season goes on. And this is one of my favourite things to see about races like this. You know, you get the drivers discussing what went on in a race. I've seen a lot of this from the sim racing world. You know, in where I started my career, you would have a race and then you'd all get together online and still chat about what happened at certain points of the race. You'd ask each other, oh, I saw you go off here, or I saw so-and-so get past. What happened there? What happened here? You know, you'd get a chance to discuss all that. And to see drivers doing that in real-world motorsport as well is just as cool. It's fantastic to have. So, 3rd place, straight from having a break to straight on the podium. Jochen Hahn, 3rd place. Very, very well deserved for Jochen. I think that's his 4th weekend podium as well, actually. Just going to check everything to make sure I've not got it wrong. No, he actually finished 4th in race 2. Antonio Albacete back on the podium once again. He took a race win yesterday in race 2, and race 4 sees him back on the top 3 steps once again. And your race winner for the first time this season in 2022, Sascha Lenz. A very, very happy man right now, and the SL Truck Sport 30 team will surely do a little bit of celebrating tonight before we move on to the Hungaro Ring. We have 3 weeks' time before the next couple of rounds of the championship, and that will come around very, very quickly, I can tell you that for free. And now we'll get the trophies presented to each of the drivers. This guy's saying, is this Jochen Hahn? There you go. Another trophy. The beautiful shape of the Misano circuit for Jochen. Antonio Albacete, who I imagine has had quite a couple of trophies during his racing career. Might ask him if he's got any spare. I'm sure he does. Antonio Albacete takes 2nd place. Solid points this weekend for him. I look forward to seeing how the championship order looks with him in the mix as well. There's a number of drivers that have all performed very, very well this weekend. I do feel for Adam Lachko, though. He's had a really tough start to this 2022 campaign. Hopefully we'll see him bounce back in a few weeks' time in Hungary. But the 4th race winner of the weekend, or the 3rd winner that we've had this weekend at least, is Sascha Lenz. And that trophy will mean a lot, like I said, to get the campaign off to a good start. That is Sasha's 10th win of his career. I told you it was just around the corner. You could hear there all of the music playing from the back of the paddock where all of the show trucks are located. They make a hell of a racket to those lot, but they certainly embrace the vibe of the one truck family, and the entire paddock really loves having them back. It's great to see. There's your top 3 then, posing for pictures. Smiles aplenty for these guys, as they've all had a really solid start to their championships. And what will Hungary hold for them? Because as we saw last season at the Hungaro Ring, it was anybody's guess. You never quite knew what was right around the corner at that very, very tight and twisty circuit. You thought Misano was difficult. Well, Hungary is a different kettle of fish altogether. They pose for the official photos on the left. And now it's time for champagne. Who's going to get soaked here? We know that Sascha Lenz was quick to the draw last time. Antonio is wasting no time at all, is he, in getting that bottle open? I imagine the T-Sport Benau squad are going to get absolutely drenched right now. They wait to see if they're soaking one another. And of course, Jochen Hahn goes with a headshot on Sascha Lenz. Antonio returns the favour, and they all end up drenched. I thought they were all going to play it calmly then and not go for each other, but it's gone right in his eyes. So Jochen's a good shot as well as a good driver. Even have the cork, have the trophy, have all of it. Fantastic. Great camaraderie, really adds to the entertainment of the championship. Jochen throwing the cork into the crowd as well. There's superstition behind keeping corks from bottles, is there not? Anyway, now that we've got the rabble off the podium, the 2 old guys with Sascha Lenz's, I'm sure they would probably describe it, we get our Promoters' Cup podium. And I'm going to, again, try to remain very unbiased here as we get joined with 2 of our British drivers on the podium after starting this race in 14th and 15th place in the opposite order as well. We're going to get Jamie Anderson, who finished in third place. The Anderson racing machine was certainly put through its paces this weekend, and so too was Jamie. He had a lot of hard work. And here he goes, making his way forward now onto the podium. The only right-hand drive truck in the field. Christina spoke to him earlier in the race and he said, well, we're just going to see what we can do. We had a tough winter and we carry on moving forward. And well done to Jamie on a well-deserved podium. Reigning Promoters Cup champion Shane Breton makes another appearance on the podium this weekend. Again, another driver that's had a bit of a tough challenge here at Misano, but has still remained in that top three. And once again, after another incredibly solid weekend, 3 class victories to his name this weekend, Teo Calve is the Promoters Cup Championship leader after Misano. And it says respect on the back of the overalls, and there's certainly a lot of respect for Teo and his continuous forward progress in this series. We'll get the trophies handed out. Jamie Anderson, the first to receive the silverware, glassware, whatever you want to call it. Next up, Shane Breton, who, as mentioned, has had a bit of a tough start to the series, but tries to defend his title in the best way possible. And keeping in touch with Teo Calve seems to be the best way to do that right now. They're going to be hoping that Teo has a bit of misfortune in the near future at following rounds, but of course we don't wish that on any driver. We want to see as fair a fight as possible, don't we? But Teo is certainly one of the top dogs in the Promoters Cup and always has been. And there we go, the French national anthem for Teo Calve, the winner of the Promoters Cup in the 4th race. And I've just seen the picture of Norbert Kisch's rear wheel on his truck, and the entire alloy is really bent to bits, cutting into the tyre, and there is quite a lot of damage there. The tyre wasn't actually completely flat, but the wheel was just completely out of shape, so it was a big, big oblong for him to try and drag around in the latter stages. That'll explain the lack of pace. Now let's see if anybody's got a lack of pace when it comes to opening a bottle of champagne. Jamie Anderson, Shane Breton and Teo Calve. Teo moves the important bit out of the way. He keeps his hat dry, but I'm sure he's about to get soaked by Jamie Anderson and Shane Breton. Brilliant. Great, great fun between those three. Well done to all of them. And they will all leave this weekend with a potential hope in the championship ahead that they can continue to score these podiums, to score points, and have a nice, fair championship fight. Well done to everybody that's ended up on a podium this weekend. They certainly had to work hard for it. Misano has been a really, really tough one for the entire paddock with all of the temperatures as well. You can see even a direct display of it there by Teo Calve. Either that or he's just washing the champagne off because it can get very sticky when you're covered in it after a while. Anyway, here is the race result. Sasha Lenz takes the win from Antonio Albacetti, 7.5 seconds clear by the end. Jochen Hahn was next up in 3rd place, getting another podium to add to his massive tally. Teo Calve, 4th overall, winning the Promoters Cup. Steffi Halm finishes the race in 5th, ahead of Anthony Janiak in 6th. René Reiner, 7th, ahead of Shane Breton in 8th. A great drive from him. Norbert Kisch finishes in 9th, hoping what might have been in that race, with Jamie Anderson rounding out your top 10. And, of course, the Promoters Cup podium. Clemens Hecker finishes in 11th spot, 41 seconds down. Thomas Robineau ends up 21st after having to come in for the black smoke rule. And Jose Rodriguez was classified, but 4 laps down. We also lost in that race as well. Adam Lachko And, of course, early on, Stefan Farse and Andrei Kurzim. So a bit more of a attritional race, it has to be said. Here's a brief look at how it unfolded, though. A quick chat with Steffi Halm before the race to see how she was feeling, and, of course, Anthony Janjak as well. But a dramatic start as Andrei Kurzim's throttle broke. Adam Lachko made contact with him, and that would later get even worse with more and more contact. An incredible start by Sascha Lenz, saw him scythe his way through the pack and lead the race by the end of lap 1. But further contact for Adam Lachko and more dramas throughout the race would see him drop out and eventually DNF. Anthony Janjak and a number of other drivers all piled in behind Norbert Kisch, trying to take advantage of his damaged MAN, while Jochen Hahn made his way back to the front, overtaking Theo Calve in the footage there. Shane Breton there getting the better of Norbert Kisch as he slowly dropped down. But Sascha Lenz was untouchable in that one, and a fantastic start to his campaign with a race win here at Misano from Antonio Albacete and Jochen Hahn, who joined him on the podium for some champagne showers. But that's all from me, though, this weekend here at Misano. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll now hand back down to Christina. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Charles. So I'm joined here by Jochen Hahn. After race 4 at this weekend, it's always the pressure comes off. But I suppose you are not so unsatisfied with that weekend, finishing on the podium.
Yeah, this is just a good end for such full weekend. We are 3 times on the podium. You know, everybody don't know how good is the performance on the first race, and so I think we are on the second place in the championship. From this side, I'm very, very happy.
What is now the schedule until Hungaroring? Because now you know how the performance of your truck is, of course, how the others will perform.
Yeah, now we go in Nobby land, Nobby Kiss land, so everybody knows he is impossible fast there. But we know also the circuit, so from this side we must prepare something to overtake him. It will be hard also this year, but we are in a good position to fight for it, and we will do it.
And after Nobbyland, it's Jochenland.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Nürburgring, it's like our circuit. I think we will have a fantastic championship in this year.
We're looking forward to it because we haven't seen the Nürburgring quite in a while. Thank you very much, Jochen Hahn. Enjoy the evening.
Same for you. Very welcome, and see you on Nürburgring. No, Ungarn. Sorry.
First Nobbyland, then Jochenland. And Antonio Albacete is here also joining us for a quick interview. Antonio, with a smile on your face, you finished second this race. It was really a good race. What was the clue, do you think? What was so good that you could pass forward?
Well, I mean, it's just, I said, okay, if I see a small hole, you know, I will go through. So, yeah. I mean,
when did you see that?
Well, on the start first, and then, no, I think it was in the second lap or something like that. But, yeah, I mean, it was a very tough race, you know. We have good fights. I have to fight with Theo, then with Jochen. So I said, well, I have to keep the position, you know, with Jochen. He got me in the inside. I got him in the inside again. So, yeah, it was a tough race. But I think it was good. I think for the spectators it was good. And for us, it was a fantastic race also. A very good result. I mean, I think we have a very good weekend. So the team is very pleased. And at least the track is not very damaged. So we will have everything ready for next one.
How optimistic are you for this season? Because right now you know where you're standing quite a bit.
Well, I mean, it's going to be difficult, you know, because we have to find something for the time practice. We are not so fast in time practice. Then in the races we are good, but we have to start a little bit further in the front, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I think Norbert is very strong, also Jochen. And then between Sascha, Adam and me, it will be like that, you know. So. But anyway, let's see how's it going. Let's see if we have a small key to tune very well the track and we can make a better qualifying.
Thank you very much, Antonio Albacete. And we will talk to the winner of the Promoters Cup. It's Theo Calve again. Congratulations. Maybe we will switch the sides then. So, congrats.
Thanks.
Another trophy with another number 1. How does that sound?
Yeah, it's good. I take a little gap in the Goodyear Cup, so that's really good. I did a good race. I'm happy. The old guys behind me gave me hard times, but it's okay. It's racing. It's like this. And yeah, now I'm looking forward to Hungaroring.
And the older guys give you a hard time on the podium. I think we always say champagne, but the Italian commentator saying prosecco.
I don't know what this means. Sorry.
Prosecco, the champagne on.
Yeah. They sprayed me.
Completely, but that's.
Yeah, that's part of the game. You know, it's fun for the show, for everything, for the fans. So they like it. So it's good to show good things.
You say you're still a young driver. You need to gain more experience. What did you take with you from this weekend in Misano?
Of course, experience, as you said. You know, in truck racing, experience counts a lot, but really a lot. And I'm still young in the category. But from this weekend, I can only remind good thing. You know, it was not the best one, but not the worst one. So I'm happy, and now let's see in the time.
Thank you very much, Theo Cave, ladies and gentlemen, winning the Promoters Cup here in this weekend. So a quick question to our editors in Neumark. Shall we finish the show, or does Chaz and AB still? Yes. So then it's Chaz, you again. Final words from you, and then afterwards, final words from me, okay? Deal?
Absolutely, deal. Hello, everyone. Me again. I forgot that we have to look at the championship standings, don't we? I mentioned it earlier on. As you see there, Norbert Kisch leads the way, but only 5 points ahead of Jochen Hahn. Sascha Lenz puts himself right back in the fight with today's race win, while Norbert finishes in 9th. And then Antonio Albertetti finds himself in 4th. That big gap is still there from those 4, though, but now it's Steffi Halm moving up into 5th position. Theo Calve tied with his teammate Adam Lachko overall in the championship, ahead of Rene Reiner, Anthony Janiek, and Andrei Kurzim finds himself 10th after what he called Misano 2.0. It is a very, very difficult weekend for him and his Don't Touch Racing team. They had a nightmare here last year as well, but rounding out that top 10 is Andrei Kurzim. Shane Breton gets some more points out of that one and is 11th in the championship, ahead of Jose Rodriguez, Jamie Anderson, Thomas Robineau, and Stefan Farse, who all have 1 point apiece. But as we heard in the interviews, we actually will be heading over to what Jochen dubbed as Norbyland for the next race in the championship in 3 weeks' time. But still, it's been an absolute joy to get the season underway once again here in Misano. A fantastic, fantastic weekend. I really look forward to being there in person at the Hungaroring in 3 weeks' time. But from me, Chaz Draycott, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, everybody. And we will hand over to Christina in just a sec, and she will sign us off for the weekend, and I'll see you in a few weeks.
Sounds good to me. So it's Hungaroring, Slovakia Ring, and then Nürburgring. We're really looking forward to the Grand Truck Grand Prix there. You see, we are here, the podium is up there, and guess who catched the cork? Yep, that was me. So that was me, Christina Run. It was a great pleasure joining you today here at the Misano World Circuit. It's been really nice seeing everybody back here. It's a big, big family. Truck racing is always so interesting, as you see. We had a lot of action. We've got a new title partner. We're entering a new era. So this is really great. And this was just the first race weekend of 8. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Join us in our social media content. You find a lot on our social media profiles. Check it out for Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. So this goes to my gallery. Bye-bye.